Ahoy mates! Welcome on board Royal Caribbean's Ovation of the Seas. We are here for a special 3-night trade sailing event to welcome the ship to its new home port of Los Angeles. So be sure to check out our full Ovation of the Seas playlist where you can see daily vlogs as well as the rooms and suites tours. They had all those open for us so we could tour them for you, and including this ship tour, that video will also be in the playlist as well. So for today's video, like I mentioned, we're going to take you around and give you a full and complete ship tour of Ovation of the Seas. We're going to see all the public areas on board. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to work our way up, starting at the bottom and go up deck by deck. So let's go ahead and get it started. Our tour of Royal Caribbean's Ovation of the Seas begins right now. All right, we begin our tour here on deck 2. As we look over our directory, we will notice there is no deck 1 for the public to visit. So it's beginning here on deck 2. The only things to see here are the boarding areas for when you're in port like we are right now, and the medical center. So we're here at the aft elevators or midship elevators. See the sign that says medical center? You just keep following those and then boom, you'll find the entrance right here down on deck 2. Again, from the aft or midship elevators, that's where you'll come to access the medical center. And just to clarify, going forward, we have 2 elevators and stairways here on Ovation of the Seas. One in the forward, so if I say forward, that's what I'm talking about. One in the aft or midship. They're calling it aft here on the map, so I'll try to refer to it as that as well. But with that, we have covered deck 2, and we're ready to head to deck 3. All right, deck number 3 now, and again, we are beginning here in the aft elevator lobby. So we're actually going to turn and head all the way aft to see our first pair of items. And that is going to be 2 of our main dining rooms, the Grande Restaurant, or the Grand if you prefer, and Chic. Now, all of these dining rooms, we're going to see 2 more in addition to these. They're all the main dining rooms on board. They're going to serve the same menus. It's just different theming for each one, and just to help separate where you're actually dining, where you're supposed to go to. So let's start with Chic over here. See, we have the reflective tile work, the lighter colors, fancy fare, and then all the dining rooms are pretty much going to be set up like this with the windows over on the side. Over on this side, we have the Grande Restaurant, and we can see this one has a little bit of darker colors, but still an elegant setting. And again, the windows over on the side. And I will point out that there is another separate stairwell here, not with the elevators, but its own stairwell that will take you up to the dining rooms on deck 4. We'll see those in just a minute. So checking back in at our map, there's the 2 restaurants there, that stairwell that I mentioned. So we're back at the aft elevators and stairs, and you can see on the outside, it's just staterooms. We're gonna actually be cutting through the middle here, beginning with Casino Royale. So of course this is the casino on board, and it's going to be your typical casino setup with slot games, coin pushers, table games. They're going to have a bar in here. It's a casino. And I will point out that there's another separate stairwell here that will take you up into the Royal Esplanade if you want to use that. Roulette, blackjack, Texas Hold'em, all the main players here. They do have ATMs in here, cashier's cages as well, right there. So all the good stuff that you're looking for inside the casino. It's not very big, like it's not an Oasis class size because it's not very wide, but it is decently long here, and as it continues on throughout, and this is how you transgress throughout the deck. And now as we reach the end of Casino Royale here on deck 3, we're now on the starboard side. We'll turn and we'll see the entrance to Music Hall. So this is a mixed-use space. I'm going to show you the view from up above in a minute because they're doing some stuff down below here. But they'll have live music, as the name would suggest. They'll do karaoke. They'll do all kinds of fun activities, trivia, and all that stuff. Like I said, we'll get a better view of it from up above in just a few minutes. And I will point out that the casino games, the slot machines, continue on through this hallway as well. And then your kind of open air here, Music Hall, which is interesting. They have the door back there, and now it's open air. You can see the spiral staircase to head up to the upper level, and we have our bar here in the middle, and you can see the stage in the center there. Alright, so at the forward elevators now, and checking back in at the map. So again, we came through Casino Royale. That is how you progress through the deck. And you see here the split. You actually have to hang on the starboard side to go through and past the Music Hall. And now we're at the forward part. Now you see it says Royal Theater here. Technically the lower level is here on deck 3, but as it says, you access it from deck 4. So we are actually done with deck 3, and let's go up to 4. Okay, beginning deck number 4 now, and again we're at the forward elevators. I just came up the stairs right here. So now we will actually turn and see the entrance into the Royal Theater, the main theater on board, where you're going to have your Broadway style shows. The ship does not have, at least of current, a actual Broadway licensed show, but you will have your production shows, and they'll do other events in here too, maybe show movies or different things like that. And this is going to be multiple decks here. So we're here on deck 4, and you see it goes down there. That's kind of why it said deck 3. You can see the stage there in the middle, but we are going to have seating up above. There is a large balcony here that you can access from deck 5. So we'll see that entrance in just a little bit. Now, just outside the entrance of the Royal Theater on the starboard side, we will see the entrance to the Crown Lounge. Now, this is a special lounge space for the highest level members of the Crown and Anchor Society, which is Royal Caribbean's loyalty program. So if you're Diamond, Diamond Plus, or Pinnacle, you're able to access this. Now, unfortunately, this is a trade sailing, so it's not a revenue sailing. There aren't normal guests on board here, so they are utilizing this space as kind of an office and meeting space for the different programs they have going on. So I can't really show you. Just know that this is where it's at, and it's a nice little lounge. They'll serve little snacks, and you can get specialty coffees and things like that throughout the day. Just off of that, we'll turn around and find the entrance, the upper level entrance, I should say, to the music hall. Like I mentioned before, it is 2 levels, so we're going to get a little bit of a better view here. So we come in at the upper level, we're going to notice pool tables. That's the big thing I wanted to point out. They don't have those down below. Those are up here, free to use. Come and play some pool whenever you're ready. They're going to have TVs throughout the space as well, typically showing live sports. But if there's an event happening here in Music Hall, they'll broadcast whatever's going on down there up here on the TV. So even if you're sitting in the back, you'll still have a view. They also have a very large bar up here in the center. So you have the bar up here and the bar downstairs. Lots of seating to be had. But if there's a big event coming up, I would recommend getting here early. Even though it is a large space, it does fill up quickly. All right, getting reoriented with our map. So we saw the Royal Theater, turned and saw the Diamond Club, and the entrance here to the upper level of the music hall. Now we need to hang over on the port side to continue going through. Now you could exit through Music Hall if you go through there, but if you're outside here in the main area, you actually have to hang over to the port side. So let's do that now. As we turn here on the port side and head aft, we are going to enter the main shopping area on board. So this is where all the different shops are going to be located, starting with, and we see the entrance, again, another entrance to Music Hall here, the entrance to Sundials. So this is just like a little sundry store. It's not very big. They have like stuffed animals and shirts and toys and things like that for the kids. And then I think they also have, no, I guess they're just, oh yeah, they have some little candies and things like that. So this has really become, I said sundries, but it's actually really becoming just a kind of a kid's store with toys and candy. Across from that, we will find Beauty, which actually extends all the way over here, as the name would suggest. We're going to find cosmetics, fragrances, all the things that are considered beautiful, or to help make you beautiful. Here comes the cheesy line about how you're already beautiful. And then the store continues on over here with a fine selection of watches. Next up, we find Prince and Green, which is selling a number of fashion items and little odds and ends, little souvenirs, a lot of Royal Caribbean merchandise specifically in here. And it continues on down over to this side as well with more Royal Caribbean merchandise and Ovation of the Seas merchandise specifically, as well as a selection of sunglasses. Next up we have Bling, which sells jewelry, no surprise there. Necklaces, earrings, bracelets. After that, we have Swarovski, selling their fine jewelry. After that, it's Regalia. They really want you to buy some stuff on the ship, specifically some jewelry. You have tons of options here. And it continues on over here as we start to enter the Royal Esplanade. So there it is there, and yes, as I mentioned, we have now entered the beginning of the Royal Esplanade, which is 2 decks high. So we're going to tour around here on the bottom deck first. It's going to be kind of a circle here. I'm going to have to kind of go in a loop before we continue on. But first, let me turn around and show you the entrance to the Amber and Oak Pub. As the name would suggest, this is the pub on board. Typical features, dark woods, leather seating. They'll have a small stage for live music performances. They have a big bar over here in the middle, and they do have food as well. It comes at an additional cost, but you can purchase some food items, and the pub continues on down the side across from those shops we saw a minute ago. All right, let's continue with our circular tour of the bottom level of the Royal Esplanade. First thing we're going to find here is La Patisserie. This is the kind of like the cafe promenade of this ship. So they're going to have little grab-and-go pastries and things like that that are included with your cruise fare. They'll have drinks that aren't included, come at additional cost, and you get specialty coffees like Starbucks products here as well. And I probably shouldn't have called it the cafe promenade of the ship because there is a cafe promenade right behind us, but it's kind of like that. It just features more of the specialty coffees. Next door to that, we'll find another shopping center, which is Port Merchants, and this is where you're going to find your alcohol and tobacco and little snacks and things like that. Just past that will be the entrance to Boleros, the Latin lounge on board. So we have our stage and our big dance floor here in the middle, and this is a large lounge. It continues and wraps around all the way to the backside here. Lots of seating, big bar in the middle, and during the day, got the windows to look outside. All right, so now we're going to start working our way back around now on the starboard side. Here's the stairwell that goes down into the casino that I mentioned earlier. Now we'll come over here on the starboard side. We'll see guest services, open 24 hours a day. Anything you need, any questions you might have, this is where you want to go. There's also an ATM next to it. Next up, we have Kate Spade, New York, selling handbags, backpacks, dresses, different things like that. And now we have the aforementioned Cafe Promenade. This is open 24 hours a day. You can come and help yourself to some regular coffee, decaf coffee. They do have a selection of teas. They'll have little pastries, fruit, sandwiches that are complimentary that you can get here all day long. And then they also have a water station over here as well. Next door to Cafe Promenade, we'll find the entrance to Sorrento's. This is the pizza stop on board. It is included with your cruise fare, so no need to pay extra for that. You'll just come through when they're open and serving, and they'll have their pizzas here. Typically every day they will have cheese, pepperoni, and a vegetarian, and then a special that rotates daily. They have lots of seating throughout, and the windows on the side there. Also wanted to point out the 2 Coke Freestyle machines. If you purchase a beverage package, you will get a souvenir tumbler that you can use throughout the cruise and fill up at these Coke Freestyle machines. I'll try to point out the various locations as we go along, starting with these 2 here. So that completes our loop of the lower level of the Royal Esplanade. So now we're going to turn and shoot the gap here between the aft elevator bays. And this is where we will find the entrance to our 2 other main dining rooms, the American Icon Grill, in addition to Silk. So as I mentioned before, these are all just main dining rooms, standard main dining rooms. They're all going to serve the same kind of thing. It's just a different coat of paint on each one. So Silk is going to have more of that Far East flair to it, which is really cool actually. This is probably one of my favorite ones that they have. You can see here all the red, like the Imperial lanterns up there. Very nice. And then across from that is the American Icon Grill, which is themed more after like America and cars. You see all the headlights there. And we have the windows on either side, like I mentioned before. And going back over deck 4 here, just to make sure we all know where we're at. Remember, we had to cut over to the port side. We saw all the shops, then we saw the pub. Went this way around the bottom level of the Royal Esplanade, completed the circle, then came back through to see the 2 dining rooms. So we've wrapped up deck 4, and we're going to 5. Starting deck 5 now, this is going to be one of our busiest decks. There is a ton of stuff to see here. So what we're going to do first, we're at the aft elevators right now. We're going to head aft and see all of these things. Then we'll come back through and head forward. So let's go ahead and begin heading aft right now. As we come off the elevator bay here, get this beautiful artwork to walk through, that lovely cascading chandelier art piece there. I want to point out this area is called the Via. And in fact, see this little placard there? The Via. And I like to point that out anytime I do a ship tour of a Quantum class ship because it's on the maps. You'll see it on maps, but it's never really referred to other than that. So if you ever get confusion about what the Via is, this is it. Just this walkway here. Anyway, coming over to the port side here, we'll find Jamie's Italian. This is our first specialty dining restaurant on board. This is coming at an additional cost. When I say specialty dining, that means that you have to pay extra for it. It's not included with your cruise fare, but this is from celebrity chef Jamie Oliver, of course featuring Italian food. You have a lovely seating area throughout here with the windows all around. Now across from Jamie's Italian, we'll find some more shopping, if you can believe it. They weren't done yet. Starting with a pre-owned Rolex section, which I didn't realize was a thing they did. Shows how much I know about jewelry. Levian? Yeah, here we go. Making a fool out of myself now. It's jewelry. What do you want me to tell you? They have it here. If you want to purchase it, it continues all the way down here. All kinds of necklaces, rings, watches, and the like. Now between the shops and Jamie's Italian, we'll find vintages. This is the wine bar on board, so it's going to be a very nice, relaxed, somewhat elegant atmosphere. They'll have the bar in the back there. They even have these little wine station dispenser machines. I always found pretty cool. And it continues over on this side, and then there's actually seating along the walkway that we're about to walk down over there. Now as we continue down our walkway heading all the way aft, we will find the Park West desk. This is the art on board. So if you're interested in purchasing any art, like they have these various statues, they have the different paintings, things like that, that's where you'll come to talk to them about purchasing the art. And that is right across from that additional seating that I mentioned for vintages. Continuing on back, the next thing we'll find is the next cruise desk. This is where you can come to book your next cruise on board, and you'll get a special offer, savings or onboard credit for your next cruise. Now, how much you get depends on how long the cruise is and what category of stateroom you book. Now, they also have another option. If you don't know which cruise you want to book, you can fill out this book later form. You put down your deposit, non-refundable, $100, so it's going to per person. They do it on double occupancy, so it's usually $200 per person, and you fill out your travel agent's name and information. That's us. And then you just fill this out, and they will go ahead and put the deposit and give you a placeholder booking, which is good for a year before you lose your deposit. Now you'll have 2 months to assign it to a specific sailing to take advantage of the onboard credit offer. But it's nice because it gives you some additional time to decide which cruise you want to do. And they'll have the various flyers out with the different sailings that are coming up that you can choose from for the different areas that you want to travel to. We always recommend booking at the next cruise desk when you're on board. People always ask us, is it worth it? The answer is yes, unequivocally, because they are going to be offering you the exact same sales and promotion that are going on back on land at that time. But you're going to get the additional onboard credit offer for booking on board. So you really can't beat it. It's also a reduced deposit in most scenarios, so that can be helpful as well. And then if you're working with a travel agent like us who has special discounted group rates, we can get you assigned to those after you get your next cruise offer, so you can take advantage of both. Typically that's not an issue. So there's really no reason to not book at the next cruise desk. The only thing I would suggest is some people ask, our cruise is in 6 months, we want to go ahead and book another one. Should we wait till we're on board? Maybe not, because the prices tend to rise over time, and it might, offset the savings you would have got. But if you're on your cruise right now and you're ready to go, always recommend booking at next cruise. Across from the next cruise desk, one of our favorite venues on board Quantum class ships, the cafe at 270. As you can see, they serve breakfast and lunch. This is included with your cruise fare, so they'll have different fruits and hot cereals and pastries for breakfast. For lunch, they have soups and salads and sandwiches, hot pressed panini. It's delicious stuff. Come over and make your own salad for lunch. They have a pastry selection over here as well. And this is also operating as a specialty drink bar. So if you want specialty coffees or fresh squeezed juices, those aren't included with your cruise fare. But if you have a refreshment package or a deluxe beverage package, they are included, and you can get those there. They do have a standard complimentary beverage station though as well, with water, juices, teas, coffees. And why is it called the Cafe at 270? It's because it is here at 270. This is a venue that is almost impossible to describe. It's 270 degrees of views on the back of the ship, the very back of the ship. You would have wake views if you were sailing. We are stopped right now. But when they have these curtains drawn, as you can see all the way around on the back. Now, in the evenings, they will do special shows here. You can see those different screens. Those are attached to robotic arms that can position themselves in different ways. They have all of these lights and sound effects. It's really incredible shows that they do in here. Sometimes they'll even draw the curtains along the backside and do projections onto them, like fireworks shows and things like that. Really, really cool stuff. Sometimes they show movies in here, live sports, and as you can see, there is seating all throughout, and it's a really intimate fare. When they're having a show here, it's just on these little stages, and you can see the seating goes right up to them, so you can really get a great view. Now, I should point out that there is a bar over on this side, and there is an upper level to 270 as well. Now, you want to actually access that. Technically, you can access it from deck 6, but you really want to come in here through the main entrance on deck 5 and go up these stairs, and that will take you to the upper level of 270 with a lot more seating up here as well, even some bar rail seating, which is nice. Now, a couple other things to point out here. The workshop, I believe they typically use this as like a professional photo studio area. or if they need it for extra space, like right now with the trade sailing, they're doing little special things, they use it for that. Probably not anything that's going to be of interest to you. But on the other side, well, first we'll have the accessible elevator, so that of course is awesome, and next to that we will have the library. So this is where you want to come if you want to grab a book, read a book. You can also, you typically find some paper games in here like Sudoku or daily trivia crossword puzzles. They have some board games here that you can use and play, and then the seating just continues on around. And they also have computers here that you can use. Now you're going to need an internet package if you want to access the internet. You see it says Voom sign in right there. But you can use these, and then you can also print from them as well. So that can be super handy. And then we're going to have the floor-to-ceiling windows all around the space here. The seating continues around. Bar rail seating here at the top to view the shows, and then standard tiered seating down below that. And there's another stairwell over here that you can take down to the lower level. That goes down by the bar. Last thing I want to point out, see this little symbol thing here? You'll see this throughout 270. This is actually part of a complimentary game that you can play in the Royal Caribbean app here on Quantum Class ships in 270. I think it's called Expedition 270. So be sure to check that out. It's actually a bit of fun on a scavenger hunt here inside 270. All right, back at the aft elevator bay and thus our map. Let's just get reoriented real quick. So we came across, did the Via with Jamie's Italian and the shops, the wine bar, Cafe 270 next cruise desk, and then 270 back there. So now what we're going to do is turn and head forward and see the rest of Deck 5. But real quick, I want to step outside because Deck 5 is home to the walking outdoor promenade deck. So you can actually come out here, open air, get some fresh air. This is where the lifeboats are as well. And this just continues all the way around pretty much, unless they have it roped off because they're doing some work like they are right now. But it's just a nice area to walk around, get some fresh air, get down, get those close sea views. And there's also a smoking section, I believe, here on the starboard side towards the aft. And there have been complaints, I know for years now with these Quantum Class ships, from people in the balconies above that smoking section that they're getting the smoke up there. So if you're sensitive to that, just keep that in mind. All right, back inside now, and we are ready to do the upper deck of the Royal Esplanade, and this is going to be another circle. Let's kick over here to the starboard side, and then we'll wrap around on the port side. So first thing, picture this photo studio. Now this is definitively where they will do professional photos. I mentioned the spot back in 270. I think they also sometimes use it as that. Like I said, that was just kind of a mixed-use space. This is the definitive official area to have professional photos taken in a studio setting. Next up, we have Wonderland Imaginative Cuisine. This is our next specialty dining restaurant, so this does come at an additional cost. And this is, it's really hard to describe this place. It is interesting. This is going to kind of push the boundaries of what eating food is. It's going to be presented in really unique and distinct and special ways, hence the name Wonderland. It's going to have a really wacky theme to it, but actually, you know what, we have eaten here before on other ships, and the food is actually pretty good. It's different. You got to be an adventurous eater, I would say, otherwise it's not going to work for you. But you see the Alice in Wonderland kind of theming with the keyhole there and the different weird patterns and the Mad Hatter portrait back there. So it's not a huge space, but it doesn't really need to be because a lot of people are a little leery of this place. So we come down the walkway here and wrap around. We will enter our favorite specialty dining venue, which is Izumi Japanese Cuisine. Now here on Ovation of the Seas, it is just the sushi menu, which doesn't mean it's just sushi. They do have other things like ramen, yaki udon, teriyaki bowls, but it is not the hibachi. That's what I'm trying to point out here. Other Royal Caribbean ships might have Izumi sushi and Izumi hibachi. This one does not have the hibachi, just the regular sushi. So this is a specialty dining venue. It does come at an additional cost. Well worth it though. Highly, highly recommend this restaurant on any Royal Caribbean ship. It is the most consistent quality and experience you will have in our opinion. And I do recommend trying to grab one of these tables here to get a nice view of the Esplanade. Just past Izumi is the walkway to head forward. We'll get to that in a minute. We need to continue our loop of the upper deck of the Royal Esplanade, starting with Bionic Bar. You might have seen this on other Royal Caribbean ships. This is a robotic bar experience. So when the Bionic Bar is open, it is not currently, as it says robot recharging, they'll have little tablets here. Come tap your SeaPass card, choose the drink you want. You can make your own drink. You can choose from their menu. They have alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic drinks. And once you submit that, one of the robotic arms here, one of the robotic bar makers, either mix or mingle, will make your drink for you. Once it's ready, they'll set it here. Then you come and tap your CPass card there, and it will deliver the drink to you. A really cool experience, pretty unique. Just outside Bionic Bar, we will find the Voom internet desk. Oh, I see now they've got the powered by Starlink insignia there. So yes, Royal Caribbean ships have switched over to Starlink. The internet is a lot better than it used to be. We don't really typically have any issues with it. So if you're having issues with the internet package, come speak to them there at the desk. Right next to Shore Excursions, which as the name would suggest, this is where you come to purchase any shore excursions for your cruise. Now, we typically recommend purchasing those in advance of your cruise, but if you need to do it during your cruise, come up here, tap your CPass card, you'll be able to view the different options and purchase them right here. And typically when they're open, there's also someone here to assist you should you need help. And that completes our loop of the upper deck of the Royal Esplanade. So now we will head back here and take our forward walkway, which is only accessible via the port side, just over to the left of Azumi. If you're over on the starboard side by Wonderland, it dead ends. It just kind of wraps around. So heading up on the port side. The first thing we'll arrive to is the Schooner Bar, a Royal Caribbean staple. You'll see this on pretty much every Royal Caribbean ship. It is a nautical themed piano bar, so you'll always see the dark woods, the ropes, the ship's wheel, and of course the piano, and of course the bar. Bar centrally located here, piano centrally located at the forward part. Next up, we have the Focus Photo Gallery. So this is where you will come and view and purchase any photos you've had taken on board by the crew. So you can just come up to any of these screens, tap your CPass card, view those, and purchase them. Now, they also sell cameras and camera accessories in here, like GoPros, batteries, memory cards, things like that. You can get here at the assistance desk. Now we can exit the Focus Photo Gallery there at the forward part, but I've actually bumped back out here right by the piano for the Schooner Bar because we need to see Chops Grill. This is another specialty dining venue coming at an additional cost. It is the steakhouse restaurant on board. You can find this throughout the most of the Royal Caribbean fleet. So they do have other things besides steak, but that is the main feature here. So a very elegant kind of a style in here, leather seating, nice lighting, and we do have the windows along the side looking out at the ocean. Since we've arrived at the forward elevators, now let's get reoriented with our map. So we saw the upper deck of the Royal Esplanade, and then again you have to continue on the port side. You can't cut through on the starboard side. So Azumi, Schooner Bar, we saw Chops Grill, and the photo gallery. And now the only thing left is the upper deck of the Royal Theatre. And you can access the upper deck of the Royal Theatre from either starboard or port side, and that's the same with the lower deck as well. So if you want upper seating, you can do it here. You can also, I think there's a stairwell inside the theater itself, but just know that you can do it here. With that said, we have wrapped up deck 5. Deck 6 is on deck. All right, deck number 6 now, and if you've seen any of my ship tours before, this is where I usually do each deck here, and I go, deck 6, just staterooms, deck 7, just staterooms. Let's save us all the time. Deck 6 through 10 are all staterooms, as you can see by the directory there. So there's not really anything to see from a public perspective. So we're just gonna skip on over all of these and head on up to deck 11. All right, deck 11 now, and actually deck 11 is mostly just staterooms too. There's just one thing to see here that's not, which is Adventure Ocean, the kids club. So this is right off the forward elevators here. You just turn and head forward, enter in here kind of towards the port side. So yes, the kids club on board, and they will separate the kids into their respective age groups and have different activities for them inside of Adventure Ocean. Of course, this is all completely complimentary, included with your cruise fare, so no need to pay additional for it. But yes, we will see the different section here, like the Royal Babies and Tots. This is more of like the nursery on board. And then over here we have the Aquanauts, which is ages 3 to 5. And then over here into the, I guess this is just a continuation of the Royal Babies with the play area. And this is actually perfect for me to explain this. You see it says we are in the Explorer's Room, deck 12. That's because this Adventure Ocean is actually 2 decks. So this is just only the portion on deck 11. And now that we've seen that, we've finished deck 11. Let's go to 12. All right, deck 12 now, and this deck is also mostly just staterooms. We need to see 2 things, the upper level to Adventure Ocean, and then the Concierge Club, which is all the way very aft of the ship. So we'll turn forward here, again, kind of towards the port side, and this is where we will enter the upper deck of Adventure Ocean. And we'll find various rooms here, like the Voyager's Room for ages 9 to 11. So again, it's just going to be different rooms that have different play areas and areas for activities. Here we have the Adventure Science Lab. They'll bring them in and do different science experiments and things like that. Then we have the stairwell that goes back down where we saw below, down to the play area. And then we have the Explorer's Room here at the end. All right, so that wraps up Adventure Ocean. And again, deck 12, just staterooms to the Concierge Club all the way in the back. I am going to walk all the way back there, even though I'm pretty sure I won't be able to get into it, but I can at least show you the entrance to it. And after a long walk, there is light at the end of this here tunnel. So yes, this is the entrance to the suite lounge, again, all the way in the back of the ship. You cannot walk any further back. Now you can enter it on the starboard or port side. If you're staying in a suite level room, you can tap your seat pass card there and it will grant you entry. I can give you a little peek through the part that's not frosted glass. It's basically just a big seating area. Nice floor to ceiling windows there in the back, and I think they have drinks and things like that for you here in the suite lounge. So check the entrance to the Concierge Club and check deck 12 going up to 13. What? Yes, most Royal Caribbean ships are superstitious and skip deck 13, but Quantum class, they go full Simba mode. They laugh in the face of danger. They give you deck 13 here, though there's not a lot going on. It's a lot of staterooms. Two things to see here. One, the entrance to the conference center right above the suite lounge, so I get to walk all the way back there again. And I'm pretty sure I won't even be able to get into it because they're probably using it for the trade show stuff. But that's okay. We'll still show you the entrance. The other thing, all the way forward on deck 13, which is the solarium. So let's start with the conference center in the back. All right, so once again, just like we saw with the suite lounge down below on deck 12, here on deck 13, the conference center all the way in the back of the ship here. So if you're having a group on board, you need some meeting space, they do have these different rooms named after the Radiance class ships. Radiance there, Brilliance there, and then it continues over here on the starboard side. So just like down below, you can access it from either side with the Serenade room and the Jewel room, which is open. Yay! So we can show you here what the conference space looks like. Nice floor-to-ceiling windows all the way to the back here, so they can kind of subdivide these. You see the track there can pull across, or you can open them up to make one large room. So if you need some meeting space on board, if you're having a group or convention or something like that, you can utilize this space. Just get with your group coordinator and they can arrange that for you. All right, walking down the hallway now, we're gonna bypass right through the aft elevator area and keep going all the way forward. Okay, at the deck 13 forward elevator bay, but we still have to go even more forward to see part of the entrance to the solarium. So we'll continue on around here and we'll head all the way down the hallway. And here you see the entrance to the solarium, but it says crew only. So that's what I wanted to point out. Even though the deck map lists the solarium here, you actually access it from up above. So don't think you're going to be coming through here. You probably could, but technically you're not supposed to. And instead, they want you to go in through the main entrance on deck 14. And since we have now wrapped up deck 13, we can do that ourselves. Let's go to 14. Okay, deck 14 now. A lot of big players to see here on deck 14. As you can see on the map, this is the pool deck. So let's go ahead and turn forward here, though. And we'll start with the aforementioned solarium area, beginning with Solarium Bistro. Now this, you would think, is a specialty dining restaurant, but it's not. It's actually included with your cruise fare. And a lot of people kind of overlook it, but it's actually a really nice spot to dine. So they'll have breakfast in the morning, and then they'll have dinners in the evening, sometimes lunch, I think. But anyway, it's going to be kind of a mixed space. You're going to have your help yourself areas and sections here, and then over on the side here. And then at least in the evening for dinner, you'll actually have a server come to your table and take your menu order for your entree. So kind of a mixed, like I said, mixed service area here, but included with your cruise fare. And they do have a complimentary beverage station as well. And now past the entrance to Solarium Bistro, we'll actually step outside here, as if we're going out on the pool deck. Then we will turn forward and find the actual entrance to the solarium. Now, on Royal Caribbean ships, the solarium used to be for guests 16 years and older, but fleet-wide now, they have gone to 18 and up. So it is an adults-only area. So right when we come in here on the port side, at least, you will see the additional seating for Solarium Bistro. But as we continue throughout the solarium area, you're going to find lots of sun loungers, day beds, comfortable chairs, basically a lot of seating. You'll see the floor-to-ceiling glass windows all throughout. That's kind of the signature feature of the solarium. The glass roof, the glass walls, lots of natural light coming through, lots of great views. In the back, centrally located here, we will find the solarium bar, so you can get your drinks there. They call it the Sunshine Bar. Let's be appropriate here. And then we're gonna have a multi-level pool area, just kind of like a nice relaxing wading pool that tiers down in the center. Again, seating all throughout, freshwater showers, and then we're gonna have lots of seating facing out the front here, where you have some really great views of where the ship is sailing to, or if you're docked in port, perhaps the port that it's docked at. We will also have hot tubs on either side as well. And then the shallow little relaxing area here at the bottom. And if you come all the way down to the bottom, either starboard or port side, and head around past the hot tubs, you can actually find these doors here. Head out and you can actually walk out on the wing area, which is a really nice spot to get a great view, because you're gonna have basically, what, 270 degrees again, just like we saw earlier in 270. Really nice open air, so you need some fresh air. This is a great place to come. They have put these glass panels here to help block the wind when you're sailing. Now I also want to point out down below, there is no helipad here on this ship, so you don't need to worry about trying to find that, and you won't be seeing that during today's tour. One last look at our tiered pool area here in the middle, heading up to the bar. And then we came in on the port side, but it's going to be pretty much a mirror image over on the starboard side. All right, exiting the solarium area, now back into the main pool deck area. See, we have all these sun loungers and comfortable couches and chairs over on the side, again with the floor to ceiling windows. You'll see that throughout. Over here, I want to point out, again, we're on the port side. This is Sea Trek. This is where you can actually come and purchase things like snorkels and masks and fins when they are open. And now we arrive to a pool area here with a hot tub on either side. And again, a nice little shallow lounge pool space. And the main pool space in the middle, and the pool bar behind that. But why do I say a pool area, not the pool area? It's because we are inside. This is the indoor pool area. You can see the glass surrounding us all. So this is climate controlled, perfect for when these ships are sailing in Alaska or somewhere that's a bit cooler. You can still come in and have a nice swim, because it is still quite warm in here. And then over here on the starboard side, you can see the other entrance to the solarium, and this is where the towel station is as well. Complimentary, come and check out some towels, and they do have life vests, which are complimentary if you need those as well. All right, and now we will exit. You see the doors here opening, exit the indoor pool area. Now we are outside on the main pool deck area, and this is open air. Now, one thing I want to point out here, you can't even really tell it's anything right now because it's not open. See the hours of operation, noon to 7. This is the ice cream spot. This is included with your cruise fare. It's soft serve. Come up and they will give you a cone if you'd like. We're gonna have a hot tub here as we enter the main pool area, outside pool area. And we'll see the pool there in the center. It does have the shallow shelf over on the other side. We also have our big video board out here, so they might play movies, or if they're using it for special events like belly flop contests, things like that. And then the sky bar right behind the pool here, the main pool bar area. So again, sun loungers all throughout your typical pool deck setup. Now next to the pool area, we will find the kids splash and play area. I don't know if they actually call it a splash away bay on this ship like they do on others, but it's the same kind of thing. Normally they'd have all these water jets spraying and the bubblers going and the buckets dumping and all that stuff. Little slides for the kids there. And then I think this is really cool. This is almost like a little lazy river. You can see the water swirling around in here. It's just a little circular pool area, but it goes around and around. Now next to that, over here on the starboard side of the ship, we will find fish and chips. Now this is, I think, only on 2 Royal Caribbean ships, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 3. But this is an area where you can come and get yourself some fish and chips, as you might expect, shrimp and chips, chicken fingers, crispy fish sandwich, or even a fried lobster tail basket. And they do have some seating here as well. And now we'll get ready to head back inside and head towards the Windjammer. Before we get to the Windjammer, let's get ourselves reoriented with our map. So our solarium area, including the bar and the Solarium Bistro restaurant. We came out, saw the indoor pool area, then the outdoor pool area. Okay, they are labeling it a splashaway bay. So the kids splash play area here, where it says poolside dining, is where fish and chips was. So now we're going to continue on through here so we can see the Windjammer Marketplace, and we're going to make a little loop here. For those who don't know, the Windjammer Marketplace is the buffet found on board Royal Caribbean ships, included with your cruise fare, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now we also see this sign that says Coastal Kitchen. This is a restaurant that is for suite level guests, specifically those in the highest 2 level of Star and Sky. Although if you are sea level, you can sometimes dine here if there's availability. Now, if you are one of those aforementioned suite level guests, this restaurant does not come at an additional cost. It is included for you as a perk of being a suite level guest. And it's basically like your own little main dining room. I'd say the food is a lot better though. You can see the floor to ceiling windows in there. Nice setup. They'll take really good care of you in Coastal Kitchen. But now let's head forward into the Windjammer. So as I mentioned, Windjammer Marketplace is the buffet on board, completely complimentary, included with your cruise fare, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I actually think the Quantum class is my favorite setup of Windjammer throughout the Royal Caribbean fleet because of the way they have everything set up. So all of the food stations are going to be right when you come in here, right in the center, with some little small wings off to the side. Now I want to turn around and point out that there is a bar right when you come in. You can get specialty coffees, including Starbucks products there. But as we continue on forward, we will see the serving stations there in the middle and the beverage stations over on the side, including the Coke Freestyle machine. So this is another area where you can fill those up. But they'll also have the included complimentary drinks like coffee, juices, teas, and water here as well. As we continue through the Windjammer, what you're going to see, again, the food's kind of on the inside, then all the seating is on the outside with the floor-to-ceiling windows creating the perimeter, so you'll have great views no matter where you sat. Now they do sometimes have smaller food sections on the outside, like this one serving toast and pastries for breakfast, serving desserts at lunch and dinner. But as you continue coming through, the food service stations kind of end, which I think is really nice, and it just turns into seating, and I feel like it gives a lot more seating options here. But they do have some beverage stations along the back, so you don't have to go far for a drink, which is nice. But coming all the way to the back of the Windjammer here, this is really why I really like it on Quantum class ships. First, I want to point out there is an additional food section here in the back middle. They don't typically use it, but if they have overflow, they will. But I want to turn here and go and show my actual favorite feature, which is the outdoor dining section. I believe only 2 Royal Caribbean classes of ship have this, which is the Quantum class and the Radiance class. So this is completely open air. You're sitting right here on the back of the ship. So when you're sailing, you're actually going to have those beautiful wake views, but when you're in port, you can get a great view of that as well. Alright, now we came in on the starboard side. We're exiting on the port side, but just know that both sides are pretty much a mirror image. You'll be able to have seating and food on either side of the Windjammer. Now, one last thing to point out here on the port side is the living room, which is the teens only lounge. You can see there by the sign. Those activities will resume later during our sailing. I'm just going to stop in here real quick because no one's in here right now. And we'll show you the space for the teens here in the living room. So cool hangout built-in lounge space with the TVs mounted there. All this nice little furniture to hang out in. They have stools and other TVs over here. Foosball table, all kinds of stuff. They even have some nice big windows in here so they can take in the view. They'll do different activities, of course, games and things like that. Sometimes they have video games set up. And again, more of those like kind of private lounge space with the different TVs here. So really nice space for the teens on board. One last thing to point out here on deck 14, between the living room and basically where we came in by fish and chips, there's actually a stairwell here in the middle between the elevators. I always like to point this one out on Quantum class ships because if you come down between decks 14 and 13, you see the floor is glass. So you're looking straight down several decks here. You can walk right across that. A little fun feature. And now that we've kind of completed our loop here on the backside, we have also completed deck 14. Let's go to 15. Just like its predecessor of deck 14, deck 15 also has quite a few things to see. We are at the aft elevators, so we're going to head back here and kind of make this loop starting on the port side. First thing I'll point out right here in the elevator bay, this door, so it says the suite sun deck. So again, if you're staying in a suite, you will have access to this. You tap your SeaPass card there, and you'll be able to head up to the sun deck. Right next to that is fuel. Fuel is interesting. Fuel used to be called like a teen disco area, but now it's just been turned into like a mixed-use activity space. Sometimes they do like makeshift escape rooms in here, and then other times, as you can see, they just have it set up for kids' activities. So just kind of check your activities guide and talk to the team on board, see what fuel's being used for on your cruise. This is what it's set up as right now. Now just past the elevators here, we will find the entrance to Seaplex, and this is one of the coolest and best features of Quantum class ships. And as we walk in, it's perfect timing because they're actually doing my favorite Seaplex activity right now, which are the bumper cars. These bumper cars pack a punch. These are not your normal carnival amusement park bumper cars. These are the best bumper cars you will ever ride in your entire life, or Dodgems if you prefer. These are awesome. I absolutely love them. Best part, this is included with your cruise fare. You do not have to pay additional for this. Come and do the bumper cars here in the Seaplex. But the Seaplex is a mixed-use space. You can see the basketball hoops there. So sometimes it'll be set up as a basketball court, a pickleball court, soccer, tennis, different things. They'll have archery sometimes, all kinds of activities in here. Roller skating, and all of that is included with your cruise fare. To me though, bumper cars, far and away, the best activity they have. See, they even have some cornhole games out here. See the archery target all the way in the back. And I should point out, the Seaplex is 2 stories. It's 2 levels. So we're gonna see the upper level in just a little bit. But I wanna show you something here on the back side. Well, first of all, there is an accessible lift here if you do need to use that to get up to the higher deck. Over here on the port side, we will turn and we will find Seaplex Doghouse. So as the sign would indicate, this is where you can come and get some hot dogs, sausage dogs, different things like that. They also have some drinks here as well. And the food is included with your cruise fare. No additional cost for this. And I will point out, even though it's temporarily out of service on our sailing, that there is a Coke Freestyle machine here as well. Now I also want to mention that you can head outside here, and I think I actually want to do that. We'll come back inside in just a minute, but I need to show you some stuff outside here. First thing is the walking/jogging track. You can see that's printed out here on the deck, and we are again outside, so we're back open air, but this is where you'll want to come if you want to have the measured jogging track is up here on this deck. And you can also find shuffleboard here as well over on the port side. Now we're kind of going up here, so we're not really technically on the same deck, but this is how you access this area, so I need to go ahead and include it. As you can see in front of me here, there is a flow rider, so it's a surf simulator. This is included with your cruise fare. Just one on Quantum class ships, not the 2 like on some Oasis class ships, but you do have that here. As well as the Ripcord by iFly, the skydiving simulator that you can do in there as well. Now, this is sometimes included with your cruise fare, but sometimes you can pay additional to have an extended session. So just be sure to check that out when you're reserving it. And we do have great panoramic views back here, as well as a seating and viewing section for the flow rider and Ripcord. Over here on the starboard side, I wanted to point out that there is a stairwell down into the outdoor seating section of the Windjammer, so if you're interested in taking that. But then you'll also see the sign-up booth here, the activities booth. You see it says Ripcord by iFly. So if you want to come in, sign up, sign your waivers, all that stuff for either the Ripcord by iFly or Flow Rider or the rock climbing, which is right there. Get a little ahead of myself. This is where you will come and do that. I guess the rock climbing wall has a little annex off of the main office area there with a waiting and sitting area. But yes, here are rock climbing walls. Looks like they have 3 sections set up where you can climb up. And again, this is included with your cruise fare. And Quantum class ships are known for their large animal statues up on the deck. Here on Ovation of the Seas, we have the pandas. All right, back inside now here at the Seaplex, and I forgot to point out, big video board up there, which is really cool. They have the different activities and stuff there listed. So we came in on the port side over there. I'm gonna exit here on the starboard side because there's actually some stuff to see. Namely, Challenger's Arcade. So this is the arcade on board. It does come at an additional cost, and I always like to remind people, if you know you're gonna be playing in the arcade on board your sailing, purchase your arcade credits in advance via the Royal Caribbean, your Royal Caribbean account on their website or mobile app. You'll get a 20% discount for purchasing those arcade credits before you get on board. And they even have a prize hub machine here, so your SeaPass card, or if you use an arcade card instead, will track your virtual tickets, and you can redeem those for prizes. They even have skee ball, they have Mario Kart, shooting games, all kinds of fun stuff, some claw games as well. So that completes the lower level loop of the Seaplex, but before we continue on with deck 15, I think it would probably make the most sense just to go up and see the upper level of the Seaplex. Yes, technically that will be deck 16, but you're usually going to access it from in here anyways, so it will just make it easier if we see all of the Seaplex right now. So let's head up the stairs. Well, first of all, great views to be had up here of the bumper cars or whatever activities going on, and we'll find some more arcade games, including some foosball, air hockey. Oh, the best air hockey. Laughing Madness. The best one, you can't go wrong there. You're gonna have some bar rail seating on the back side. There's some ping pong tables over here on the starboard side. And as we wrap around over here to the port side, we'll find the Xbox Lounge. Guess what they have in here? You'll never believe it. Xbox games, of course. Xbox One being featured right now. Several different stations for people to come and play, included with your cruise fare. And then another bay of ping pong tables here on the starboard, or excuse me, on the port side as well. And I should point out that you can also access the suite sun deck from up here, or if you have access to it, which I don't, but you could. Okay, back at our aft elevator bay, getting reoriented here with our maps. We started with fuel, came in and saw the Seaplex, including the doghouse, went outside and saw the flow rider, ripcord, and rock wall areas, saw the arcade when we came back in, and then we went upstairs and saw the upper deck of the Seaplex. So we are actually done with the entire aft section of the ship. We will not be back here. But now that we're down on deck 15, we're going to continue heading forward. And as we come outside, here is the overall information for the sports deck running track that I showed you earlier, including the various distances. And as we make our way forward, we're going to see a lot of sun loungers here because this is pretty much the sun deck. That will continue on either side, starboard or port. You will be able to access those. And I will point out, kind of give you a little peek here, that's the sweet sun deck up there. So that gives you an idea of how big it is. I mean, I know we can't see it great, but it's what I can do. And actually, I'll zoom in from afar here to show you the sweet sun deck. A little bit better view of it there. Not too much to write home about. As we make our way forward here, I want to look up in the sky and see the North Star, because when it's up like that, it's way easier for me to explain what it is, because it kind of explains itself. So it is a viewing observation pod attached to a robotic arm. It will take you all the way up in the air there, it'll spin around and give you 360 degrees of the port you're in, or if you're out at sea. So yeah, more than 300 feet in the air. Now, like I mentioned with the Ripcord by iFly, the skydiving simulator, sometimes the North Star is free. It's included with your cruise fare. I think typically when you're out at sea, I want to say, or port, it's one or the other. I always get it mixed up. But anyways, then they offer the extended rides that do come at an additional cost. So you'll know when you're signing up for it, when you're reserving it, if it's included or if it comes at an additional cost. So you have that option. If you want the extended ride that does more movements and goes different ways, you can pay extra for it, or you can just do the standard ride, which is perfectly fine in and of itself, and that's included with your cruise fare. And just under the North Star boarding area, we have the North Star bar. If you want to come and get some drinks, or if you want to sit and have a nice view, you can do that as well. There is some tiered seating here overlooking the pool deck. Over here on the port side next to the North Star bar, this is the actual boarding area for the North Star, and they do have an accessible elevator, at least usually most of the time. So once your group is ready, they will escort you up the spiral staircase where you will board the pod, and then it will take you up. And you see they have the sign here, North Star check-in. They have the little kiosk and the scale, which I hadn't seen them weighing people before, but it appears that they are now. As we continue forward, our jogging track will still keep going, and we'll see more sun loungers. Again, you'll see this on either side of the ship. And then the jogging track continues around the forward part, so it just makes a little loop up there. But we're going to turn and head back inside. So we are inside the indoor pool area. We saw it before down below there. There's just some seating up here, not really too much else to see. Now we'll continue in towards the elevator bay. So now we've completed this outdoor section, come inside, and here we have the Vitality Spa and Salon. So we will enter here, deck 15 forward over on the starboard side. You can just come in, and they have different items that you can purchase. You can check in here at the desk if you have a treatment or if you need to reserve something, and then they will escort you back to your treatment room. So you just go on through there, and then that's where the salon is, and then all the treatment rooms are back there. And so now that we have seen all of that, we have completed deck 15, and we're going to our final deck, deck 16. All right, our final deck, deck 16 now. Again, we saw all of this in the back already because we accessed it from deck 15. The North Star, the same thing, access that from deck 15. So the only thing to see here is very forward part of deck 16, just off the forward elevators. Here on the port side is the entrance to the Vitality Fitness Center. So this is the gym on board. And as you come in, clean towels for you to grab there. They do have consultation rooms if you want to meet with one of the experts, and then you can continue forward into the actual gym and workout space. Floor to ceiling windows here to give you a nice view as you're doing your treadmill or your elliptical or whatever it is you're going to be using, and that continues all the way around. They have some dumbbells and free weights in the center here, resistance machines, and again, even looking out the forward part with the rowers and all that stuff, You have some nice views with the windows. And over here on the other side, more towels and more of the same. They do have a studio area where they'll do spin classes and different other classes like that offered throughout the cruise. More machines over here. And then there's this smaller section here at the very forward part where you can find the exercise balls, the yoga mats, some more smaller weights, dumbbells, foam rollers, and then an area here where they can do different classes and informational presentations. Well, there you have it, friends. That is our tour of Royal Caribbean's Ovation of the Seas. We hope you enjoyed it and found it informational and helpful. And again, I'll encourage you to check out the other videos in our Ovation of the Seas playlist, especially seeing those rooms and suite tours and our daily videos from our cruise on board. Now, if you're interested in coming on board Ovation of the Seas or any other Royal Caribbean ship, we can help make that happen. As travel agents, we partner directly with Royal Caribbean. Our services are completely free to you. We never charge any fees or costs whatsoever. You'll never pay a single cent more to book with us than you would direct on your own. And even if you have recently booked on your own direct with Royal Caribbean in the past 30 days, if you're not paid in full, you can transfer your booking to our agency. That's also free of charge, and then we'll be able to assist you the rest of the way. So either way, we hope we will hear from you soon. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us for today's video, but we're signing off. See you next time. Happy travels!